Hi everyone, if you are new around here, my name is Mandy and I'm a full-time reseller. And today I'm going to kind of go over some goals for this coming year, both personal and with my business. So if that is something you're interested in, I suggest grabbing a snack or a cup of coffee like I have. This is probably going to be just kind of a chattier video. I'm going to start with my personal goals. If that's not something you're interested in, I will not be offended if you skip ahead. I'll maybe put up a title slide or something that indicates that we're on to my business goals. So my first personal goal is to just in general be healthier, make better decisions when it comes to food and making sure that I'm moving. When COVID started, I was in an office building. I was working for an insurance company. So I was pretty much in my own little cubicle. There wasn't much movement at all. And then, we all got sent home to work at home. Once I was home and everything going on in the world, I definitely used food as kind of a crutch, and it was just whatever goes whenever. And I really kind of want to get out of that mindset now. Something that always kind of held me back ever since I've been younger is, I don't have the time. Well, now I have as much time as I need because I'm my own boss. So I really have no excuses when it comes to that. So I really want to focus on meal planning again. I do have a gym membership. I want to get that into some sort of routine. I'm definitely a creature of habit. So once I get something kind of going and it's normal for me, then I usually have more success with that. Another goal of mine, now that I do have more time and my schedule is a lot more lenient, is I want to make plans with people more. Once again, since COVID, I feel like I did lose quite a few, relationships that I might have had just because we weren't seeing each other as often. And then once that happens, especially when you're in your 30s, 40s, I feel like adult friendships kind of go by the wayside when people start having children. So I want to make sure that I'm reaching out to people and making those plans. And then when I am doing those plans, to be in the moment. I know it's very easy to be thinking about, what you have going on the next weekend, or work stuff or family stuff, whatever it may be, to just make sure that I am in the moment when I'm with those people I want to be with. Another one of my goals is to just let things go. I think this is probably one that a lot of people struggle with. This just kind of popped in my head. I got a bad review the other day for someone that obviously did not read my listing. They did not look at the pictures. I had everything in there. I had measurements. I had, if it stretched, if it didn't stretch, that it was vintage, that it would fit a little bit different. And they were upset that I didn't describe it well enough. And to be honest, that really got to me for 2 days. And I thought about it and I'm thinking to myself, why? You know what I mean? Honestly, just let it go. And I think that there are a lot of other things in my life too that it's very easy for that to just kind of stay in your head and ruin your day. And I just really want to work on not letting that happen, just dealing with it in the moment. Don't let it linger to the next day or the next hour or however long you need it to be, but just to deal with it and let go. And then my last personal one that I'm going to share, I would like to start learning new things. This goes along with me being able to, kind of move my schedule around. I have more time. This is the time to do those sort of things. So my number one thing is I want to learn how to sew better. If you can see behind me, right there, that is my little sewing area behind me. I do have a sewing machine. I can sew some things, but I'm definitely no expert by any means, and I would really like to get into repurposing clothing. I see a lot of great things at the bins or the thrift store. There might be a really cool vintage skirt that maybe has a stain on it that I can't get out, or a small hole that I couldn't fix, but I would like to be able to use that fabric to make something else and repurpose it. That's one of the main reasons why I got into reselling, is I like the idea of something that someone is done with and being able to take that and give it new life so that it doesn't end up in a landfill. So that is one of my goals. So with that, I am starting another channel, which I'm sure you're probably thinking, okay. And it's pretty much the best way I can describe it is it'll be kind of like a comedy sewing channel, if that makes any sense. Each video I will pick some sort of pattern or something that I am going to make, and then I will just bring you along on the journey with me on how well I do or how badly I do. I will say that sometimes I don't always love to read directions to a T, so that normally gets me into a little bit of trouble. But I think it could be quite fun, and I know this way, if I have some sort of requirement that I'm giving myself that, I have to make a video once every week or once every 2 weeks, that I will stick with it and hopefully I will continue to learn. So now we are going to go on to my business goals or changes that I am making in my own business. So first I'm going to start with things that I am going to be leaving behind in 2023. And the first thing that I'm going to be leaving behind is Depop. I just don't make enough sales there and it just doesn't seem worth my while. Yes, I'm sure I probably could put more effort into that. I just don't really think that I'm very excited about it anymore. And I also found myself a lot of times looking for things to just sell on Depop. Like, oh, this will be good for Depop. And guess what? It didn't sell. It didn't sell anywhere else. So that is one thing that I will be leaving behind. Another thing I'm going to be trying to leave behind is only buying things that excite me. This might have a little bit of a caveat where if I do find something, super great with a great sell-through rate and I'm not that excited to list it, I probably still will buy it. But I do find myself, obviously when you're more excited about something, you want to list it faster. Along with that one, I also am going to stop saying, oh, I'll be able to fix that, or I can clean that when I find something, that I kind of am interested in, but there might be a huge stain on it, or there's a rip on it, or the zipper's broken. Unless the sell-through rate is great or it's a great item, I think I'm probably going to, I say I think because I know myself, and I probably still will pick up a couple of them, but I want to make sure that I am spending my money wisely. And then the last thing that I'm going to be leaving behind in 2023 for my business is just kind of going on my gut when I'm buying things. There are brands and certain things that I will always buy just because I know that I personally have a sell-through rate over 100 on it, or it's something that I know I can give to Play-Dohs or something along those lines. I'm talking more, especially when I'm at the bins, a lot of the time I'm like, oh, I don't need to look this up. I'm sure it'll sell. Someone will want to buy it. I want to get out of the mindset of there's a buyer for everything, which I think is somewhat true, but I want my new business model to be a faster sell-through rate. I don't want to hang on to things for years just in hopes that someone will buy it. So on to things that I will be starting in 2024 with my business. I think I've talked about it in a couple of videos. I'm going to go back into live selling. I did do a couple live sales on Poshmark when I first went full-time doing this. This was back in July. At that point, I was extremely uncomfortable in front of the camera. I've been making YouTube videos for a little over half a year now, so I feel a little bit more comfortable talking to myself, essentially. So I think that will help. I am also approved for Whatnot. I did onboarding back in July as well. I think I ran one show and nobody came to it, so I was just like, I'm not doing this. I did a couple shows on Poshmark. I didn't make any sales, so I just gave up on it. But from everything that I am seeing so far, like, you just need to continue doing it so that you get your base and you get people coming back, and more than likely your first couple of shows you aren't going to sell anything unless you have, luxury items or you're doing pallet pulls or something like that. So I'm going to start all of that up again. I really enjoy the idea of buying and selling quickly. You might not be getting top dollar, but that's fine for me to do more volume selling. Since I do sell a lot of things to Play-Dohs, if I can pull some of that and sell it on my own, that would be one less trip that I need to make across town to go to Play-Dohs and wait for them to look through things. So the live sales might be kind of part of that. I also find a lot of great things at the bins that I just know Play-Dohs isn't going to take. I don't have a clothes mentor or style encore or anything like that near me. So I might do some shows geared towards that. ThredUp, I don't know, I'm kind of on the outs with them right now. So if I could have some shows that are maybe more mature shows where I did like Chico's, J. Jill, Susan Graver, that kind of stuff, that would be a good outlet for those options that I'm currently not really picking up just because they sit forever for me in my own closet and my eBay store. So the first 3 shows that I do kind of have somewhat set up that I've been buying for, one will be a plus size show. So I think I'm doing extra large and up. Then I do have an athletic show, so shorts, tank tops, leggings, lighter jackets, that kind of thing. And the last one is graphic t-shirts. I find those quite frequently. They're pretty cheap to pick up. They seem to do well on Whatnot. It can be unisex, so men and women can be in your show at the same time. So in the same vein of that, I potentially will get a palette this year. We'll see. I've told myself that I need to make sure that I have a good following on Whatnot or Poshmark for my live shows, that it would be easy for me to sell it. I don't want to get stuck with a bunch of things. So that will probably be later in the year, just as long as the live selling does well. Another thing that I will be starting this year, I do somewhat, but I definitely don't do it as much as I should, and I don't know all the ins and outs, and that is looking for inventory online, whether that be manifested boxes, so I know what I'm getting as opposed to the mystery boxes online, or just using Poshmark or eBay or ThredUp, Mercari, any of those places to look for items that potentially another reseller has listed for quite low, or just someone is trying to get rid of their item from their own personal closet and they're selling it for lower, and I know that it's worth more to do that sort of thrifting as opposed to going to the actual thrift store. I know there is a lot of money to be made that way. I just need to make sure that I know what I'm doing and I'm not purchasing things that are oversaturated, or, there's a reason that that reseller or whoever has it priced that low. Another goal that I have for my channel is to get it monetized. I'm working my way there. I'm not quite there yet. I'm trying not to beat myself up about it and look at other creators and how fast they're going, because everyone has their own journey. I understand that. So I did actually get a GoPro for Christmas. I'm waiting for a couple different attachments. I don't think I'm quite ready to use the chest strap and just start walking into thrift stores. I'm trying to figure out a different way to do that so I'm not, in people's faces when it comes to that. But I think that will help the channel. People really do like to see out and about as opposed to just thrift hauls. They want to see you actually shopping or at the bins or at rummage sales once it's summer again. So that will be happening at some point on this channel. Another thing I thought about adding to the channel, I know a lot of people that do watch resellers or they enjoy thrifting themselves normally are pretty money conscious. I am myself. So I thought maybe every once in a while I could throw in a video where I show you kind of how I do my budgets, or, different apps I use that help me save money. Things along those lines. I think that kind of is corresponding with reseller content. So let me know if that's something you'd be interested in. So those are my goals for 2024 for personal and business. Let me know in the comments below what you are thinking about doing for your business, or if you have any personal resolutions that you'll be doing this year. And as always, if you enjoyed today's video, please make sure to like and subscribe. It really helps out the channel and I really appreciate it. I will see you in the next video, and Happy New Year. Bye!